Lincoln really hopes that they can kind of rejuvenate the brand with the 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Hello, my name is Jimmy, and well, we're actually sitting in a lovely SUV, priced at like 85,000 Canadian dollars. It's, well, just in line with the Lexus RX 350h. So it's actually a pretty good competitor. Infiniti doesn't really have a two-row SUV anymore, and like Mercedes GLE and X5 is definitely priced higher than this. So this, well, it's actually a decent bargain if you kind of compare it to some of those luxury automakers. But what does Lincoln give you? I actually really like the new direction Lincoln is going here. It's much better than that cow catcher thing that they were going for many years back now. But this is actually a lot more subdued. But the only thing is, it's just missing that brand recognition. Out in the wild, if I'm just parked on the side, no one's really looking at this and saying, oh, that's a Lincoln. Many would just be like, oh, I don't know exactly what that is. It just looks different than other brands. And it does look different, but just doesn't have Lincoln kind of written on it. I mean, it does in the back, but it's not. You know how you look at a Porsche, you know it's a Porsche. You look at a BMW, you know it's a BMW. Just that brand distinction, this is missing that piece. But it is actually a very nice package here. In the back, you got 35 cubic feet of space, which is plenty really for a two-row SUV like this. Of course, you can fold down the rear seats 60-40 if you want to expand that cargo area. The rear seats, while it's plenty comfortable, they are heated, but it's lacking some of the other features that other brands give you. Like, you don't get baby shades on the side, you don't get cooled seats back here, but you do have two USB-C ports in front of you, and the seats themselves, they are heated, but it just lacks a little bit of that kind of functionality some other brands give you. As for child seats, I am a certified passenger safety technician, and well, there's plenty of space for child seats. The Nautilus is wide enough for you to have 3 seats across. So I have 2 collect flows and 1 collect foof, so you can see exactly what that looks like. If you're putting an infant carrier, the doors, they open wide enough for you to get the infant carrier in here, although it's not like some other brands where it's like full 90 degrees. But very spacious cabin. You do get 2 sets of lower anchors and 3 upper anchors. All of them are very easily accessible. But the front seats here, these are exceptional. They're very adjustable. Even the thigh support, the left and right can be individually configured. So you can really, well, kind of cater it for your body needs. And they're massaging, heated, and cooled. So in here, it's actually, well, it's just superbly comfortable. In front of me, I do have a Squircle. It's a very different shape than other manufacturers, but it works in here because that, in conjunction with this ultra wide display in front of me, actually looks pretty nice. The steering wheel, I have it lower than most other cars because I need to see the display itself, but I don't find it too awkward. And the D-pad, while they don't have anything written on them, they're actually really easy to use. And once you put your thumb on it, you'll see exactly what that button does on the screen behind. The screen itself is like a 4-foot long display, spans the entire length. You don't get a heads-up display, obviously, because that display basically is at the same height as some other heads-up display already. So it's perfectly in line. It gives you a lot of information. Your speed right in front of you. I got my maps in the center. And then the 3 on the right, I can cater it to whatever I want through this little widget button here on the bottom. It's not super configurable, so you can't have like YouTube, you can't have Netflix on there, but you can see the things that, well, as a driver, you'll need, like your fuel economy, your trip, maybe what song that you're playing. All of the infotainment itself is controlled through this center screen. It's a little bit more upright than I may like, but it does have a upper lip here, which does make it easier for me to put my hand on and use a touchscreen at the same time. I like this interface. It definitely has a lot of menus to it. However, it's quite simplified. And with Google Assistant that's built in, it does make life easier. So you can ask, well, Google to do whatever it is that you need, like heated seats or lowering the temperature. It can just do that all for you through voice anyways. You do get some dedicated physical buttons right below, like this giant volume knob here. And that's definitely a nice touch. I feel like many Lincoln buyers will appreciate that over, well, some sort of dial elsewhere. This is actually very intuitive. I mean, overall, it's quite nice in here. You do get scents in the center here. I guess that's the new thing now. Every manufacturer has to have some sort of scents. Okay, I shouldn't say I hate them. I'm not a fan. It just smells like I'm walking through a department store fragrance section. It's not for me. You might like this, but I mean, I guess I'm not at the age range yet for Lincoln, but this, it's just a little bit much for me. But you can just slap them in there and forget about them anyways. Under the hood, there are two options. Both are 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged motors, but there's also a hybrid option, which this is. With the hybrid, you get a CVT rather than the 8-speed, and they're always paired with all-wheel drive. It's very, very smooth, as you would predict a CVT would be, and it's, well, it's sort of that laid back, a little bit of slower pace kind of vehicle, because even if you hit the mode button here and go to excite, it has adaptive suspension. It does firm things up. It does weigh up the steering wheel, but let's be honest, it doesn't excite me whatsoever. That mode should just be slightly stiffer instead of calling it excite. However, I don't think that's a problem, because most buyers or owners of this vehicle will probably never press that button. They'll leave it on normal and they'll just drive it like this. And it's very good. It's comfortable, it's easy to drive, and it's kind of a no thought process when you're driving this. Everything is just so easy. Not only is it, just the lighter steering wheel itself, the cluster, I mean, generally a cluster like this being so different, it'll take a little bit of time to get used to, but I don't mind it. Other than the fact that it's curved and the left side is closer than the right, and it's kind of weird to me. Other than that, I don't mind it. It's very easy to get used to. And, it has a good 360 camera. I have the auto park assist, and it has Blue Cruise. And Blue Cruise is standard. So whenever I'm on roads that, let's be honest, are a little bit boring, like highways and whatnot, chances are it's Blue Cruise enabled, which means that I can enable it through the steering wheel here and, just let the vehicle drive itself. Overall, at 85,000 Canadian dollars, this is actually a pretty well-rounded package. The hybrid, it just makes fuel economy a little bit better on the city streets. I'm averaging 8.4 liters for 100 kilometers right now. Not too bad at all. If you're going to be traveling a lot on the highway, maybe forego that, just because like most hybrid vehicles, when you're on the highway, it's not very effective. So depending on your commute, that can, kind of change the options you're going to pick. And if you don't select any options, a base Nautilus, 60,000 Canadian dollars, priced pretty well. In any case, I think that's really it. That's all I got to say about the Nautilus. It's different. It's a new direction. And I think Lincoln is going, at least the right path. In any case, thank you so much for watching this video. Like the video if you do, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.